Yeah, good evening. So how are your preparations going on? Quite a few of you have asked me. Ma'am, literature. Yes, good evening, both of you. Good evening, all of you. So sorry for being a late. Actually, my laptop betrayed me. So I had to shift to my mobile then. ठीक ठाक हूँ, Jasleen. So yes, obviously your literature paper is there on Friday. If I'm not mistaken, it is on Friday. So yes, start your questions. And regarding Julius Caesar, I'm sure you all must be wanting Julius Caesar. Above 75 is not a problem. I'm always telling you that short, simple sentence, to the point answers, underline the keywords, and be careful of your grammar. No grammatical mistakes. That is why I always advise write short, simple sentence, right? Yeah, of course. My students every year, quite a few are getting 100. And you must have seen, if you have gone through the comments, you must have seen that quite a few there also, they have got 100. My YouTube students. Okay, 99. Priyanka. Very good. No, there is no word limit for a 3 marks, but not more than 3 to 4 lines, right? And if there are subdivisions, there are 3 subdivisions, so you will write each of them in a separate line. Don't continue in the same line even if there is space, right? Yeah, I saw this one. I am not very sure, because if the passage was in the past and the question was in the past, I don't know what made you write it in the present, because there might be a problem. And especially I think it is easy to write in the past tense than maintain the coherence of tense in the present tense. But if it is grammatically correct and to the point answer, then I don't think you need to be you need to be afraid. Yes. Time management. Yes, right. Regarding time management, first thing, you will continue according to the questions. The 16 MCQs, you all will do it very fast. But that doesn't mean that you will just be so fast as to miss the right one. MCQs go very fast, and then manage your time. You, as many questions you have to write, you check in your watch and see how much time is left, and after that space them equally, and also leave 10 minutes for your revision, because you might be finding many mistakes, errors in your answer while revising. So I always tell my students, I tell my granddaughter, she's in class 3, I tell her the same, revise. My father used to say revise, but I never revise, but I'm telling that to y'all. Oh, I am honored. No, I don't think I'm the best, but I try to be good. No, the speaker, he says that he is one of them, so we can assume he can be a ghost, but it's not clearly mentioned. But the stranger cannot see what he can see. So if the stranger cannot see, then we have to assume that he is the ghost. The best in which tends to write the answer. So in my opinion, it is best to write in the past tense. But if the question is in past tense, if the question is in past tense, well and fine. If it is in the present tense, I would like that you should write in the past tense, but don't shift from past and present. So don't keep on shifting. Yeah, of course you can. If you write from Julius Caesar, it is said that since it is Shakespeare, you are likely to score more, provided your answers are to the point. No, if you want my opinion, Aditi, I would say that go for Julius Caesar. If you are really very conversant with it, go for Julius Caesar. then poem, then prose. That is what they say. No, 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 please don't write extra questions. That's just a waste of time. Because they will check the first 5 or first 4, whichever you are supposed to write. So they will check the first ones, and the last one they will. Oh, I am honored, Sahit. Big fan. So I'm really honored. Yes, now anything to ask me? So Ajoa's grandmother had a very bad opinion, a negative type of opinion regarding her father. Yes, you all did love him once. Is this rhetoric question? So this is obviously because he means to say all you loved him once and there was a cause for it. So they will, if they give you in the MCQ, whether in that case the options will be such that if they give you irony, they won't give you rhetoric question as an option, and if they give you as a rhetoric question, they won't give you an irony, because if they are overlapping, then they won't give you both. Good evening, Scorpio, Cancer. My God, of all the stories and poems, did you find it tough? No. If you are talking of language, I don't think it was tough, but for me it's different. But I found the grammar part, then the comprehension, all of them, they seemed quite simple. Means you must have done them in your, practice them in your school or at home, I don't know. Because in my online classes, I have practiced them so much that I'm sure they must have got full 20 in language, and the grammar part and the others also, the writings, they have done it well. So that is why I said that I didn't find the paper tough. This was rather more or less expected. The letters were also easy. And regarding the essays, though, it's up to you which one you choose. All the stories and poems, I think it is difficult because at this moment, so rather go for the short difficulties you want now. No, Aditi, don't worry. 3 to 4 lines is not wrong. If you get 2.5 or 2 in school, school teachers will not give you full marks, mark my words. If you are writing the correct answers, to the point answers with the keywords, grammar is correct, then don't need to worry. In your boards, you will get full marks, mark my words. Every year I am sending for the last, I started teaching in 1995 when you all were not even born. And since then, I'm sending students to the boards, and school teachers, I don't blame them. They are doing the right thing. They will not give you full marks. But in the boards, if your answers are according to the question with the keywords, you will surely get full marks. They keep on giving 3, 3, 3. No mistakes. Grammatical mistakes should not be there, right? You have to be very careful about the grammatical mistakes. 2.5 in school means 3 in boards. No, Akan, I can't say that. Depends on how you have written it. If in the present tense also it is not wrong, then you should get it. Own voice, why do you feel that it is tough? Tell the death of Caesar and the death of Brutus, with respect to Cassius being a person with Epicurean thought and Brutus's stoicism. So regarding the death of Cassius, both of them, they committed a type of suicide, we can say. Brutus also told Strato to hold the sword and he ran into it, and Cassius told Pindarus to kill him. So in both cases, they are a type of suicide, and Cassius did not believe in the omens, but in the recent times he had become more fatalistic. He started believing in omens. And regarding Brutus, he was a stoic, indifferent to pleasure and pain. And that is why even if he had in spite of his being a stoic, he had reacted very violently when Cassius came and told about Lucius Pella. But then we realized that he had suddenly lost his cool. He was always a cool man, but he had lost his cool on account of the news of the death of Portia. But then he regained his composure. So he is a stoic. And as such, he doesn't want to kill himself. And that is why he had been against Cato, who had committed suicide to escape imprisonment. So Brutus did not want to commit suicide. That is why he kept on asking his friends to kill him. And finally it was Strato who agreed, and Strato held the sword and he ran into it. So in spite of being a stoic, in the end we find that he cannot bear the idea of being taken as a prisoner, and that is why he did not want to live anymore, and that he was defeated on all that. So finally I think his stoicism could not bear it. When Cassius died also, he was very sad, but he took time. He said that I will mourn later. This is not the time to shed tears. So till then the stoicism was there, but finally he felt that all is lost. And since he did not want to be imprisoned, he told Strato to murder him. No, I don't think so. Your teachers will be the best ones to tell. So have faith in them. Akan, have faith in them. And don't think of what is done cannot be undone. So don't bother about these. Carry on with your future exams. Grammatical mistakes means they are more averse, the examiners, the tense. So you have to write your answers in one particular tense. Sometimes while checking the copies, not the exam copies, while checking the copies of my students, I find they start with past tense and then they continue with present tense. So you have to see which tense will be more suitable for the answer. It is not that always past tense, but if present tense is suitable, or if they ask you the question in the present tense, in that case it is advisable that you write in the present tense, provided you are comfortable with it. And if not, go for the past tense. Past tense is easy to handle. So grammatical mistakes, then comes the preposition. Right preposition should be in your answers. And the articles, obviously. So these three are very important: article, preposition, and the tense. Tense is the most important. Keyword के similar chalega. I didn't get it, Ashutosh. So go for the keywords like where was Mark Antony, or suppose I'm just giving an example. Or where had Mark Antony gone after on hearing the death of Caesar? So Mark Antony had run to his house. So house, underline. That is the keyword. So Aditi, I just now talked about this one only. No, don't quote a lot. Don't quote a lot, because let me tell you, in ISC it was that unless you quote you don't get marks, but it is not so here. In ICSC you can quote, there is no compulsion. And nowadays so ISC also has become a bit different, so I don't know whether the quotations formula still exists. But if you quote, be very careful about the punctuation, because if you don't give the proper punctuation, then it is not a quotation. Quotation means that comma, full stop, exclamations, whatever, the colons, the semicolons, they all should be there as it is. So you are exactly quoting. So if you find you can't remember, then don't quote. And if you are very eager to quote, mug up those lines which you want to quote and you think it may come, because you can't put a quotation everywhere where it is not relevant. Yeah, regarding the grammatical mistakes, are you okay with it? I have told you. Okay, welcome. Macbeth predictions. Samriddhi. Very good. Congratulations, Samriddhi. MCQs, so it will be from anywhere and everywhere. And that is why I always tell that in spite of what has come last year, you have to read all the chapters because the MCQs are coming. Another thing, yes, let me tell you, I had come with a mind to tell you this, that I have observed in the second pre-board paper that they are repeating the questions which have come last year. So if this is a warning signal that since the syllabus has been reduced, you all are getting only 5 chapters, so no elimination. So this is what I wanted to tell you, because quite a few schools I found, because I'm getting the question papers from my students, online students of course. So I found that considerable spec and then the glove and the lines, in quite a few schools they have given considerable spec. In quite a few they have given glove and the lines. Same for the prose. And obviously in Julius Caesar, you know that Act 3 Scene 1, since Scene 2 has come, is very important, and Act 3 Scene 3 is a very short scene, minor scene. But since Act 3 Scene 2 is a very lengthy scene, they might give something also from there, the act, because this time it seems quite dangerous. Earlier I had said that ICSE doesn't repeat, so they are not repeating the exact questions. But we don't know, because many schools are doing this and they wouldn't do it without any cause. They might have been given instructions to repeat the questions of the previous year. So that is why I'm saying it's better to go prepared with all the chapters, right? Considerable spec and which is the other one? Glove and the lines. And in prose you had which one? One is I've forgotten the ones, I'm confusing. You all know it, which ones have come. Let me check. 1 minute. So in the elevator and the last lesson. So these are the two which have come last year, but in some schools they have given last lesson. So it is quite confusing. That is why I'm telling you that go for just revise them as it is. You have to revise for your MCQs. So it's better that you revise the chapters, so that in case the board plans to repeat the question, you are not left helpless, right? So go for them. In Julius Caesar, there are number of scenes, so I don't think they'll repeat Act 3 Scene 2. But Act 3 Scene, obviously because there is Act 3 Scene 1 also, very important. And in Act 4 Scene 3 specially seems to be more important because of the ghost of Caesar and the fight between these two, the two generals, Cassius and Brutus. So someone had asked me about Lucius Pella's the fight regarding Lucius Pella. So Lucius Pella, just let me tell you why did the fight originate. Lucius Pella was someone favored by Cassius, but Brutus was against him and had punished him for taking bribes. And Cassius comes with a complaint that I had written on behalf of him and you had ignored him and all that. So that is why Brutus tells that you are yourself an itching palm. So if you get the scope to write about Brutus, what he tells Cassius, so in that case you can write about itching palm. So Brutus calls Cassius an itching palm. So itching palm in inverted comma, because that is what you are quoting. If you want to quote, and you are not sure about the punctuations, don't quote the whole lines. You can quote phrases that will impress. 52. So 52 out of 80 in the pre-boards doesn't mean that you will get somewhere close to it, because I'm sure after getting 52 out of 80 you must have prepared much more. So in that case, if they take an exam now in your school also, you will be bound to get much more. So it depends on what type of questions and how you have prepared. Stoic is a person, Adbya Mukherjee. So your name is a bit different, unique. So stoic is a person who is indifferent to pleasure and pain. That means even in happiness he will remain the same, and the same in sadness also. So Brutus was considered to be a stoic. So I am honored, Somoditto, sorry. So yes, Tech Indian, I am telling you. So it depends on the type of questions and your preparation. So Brutus condemned Cato, but when it comes to you, means when it is your personal thing, and in the end he was a disappointed person, he was disillusioned. The thought which had made him join the conspirators, and later he realized he was a patriot, and he had hoped that the death of Julius Caesar will give rise to a new Rome. But what happened was contrary. He saw that all of them had joined hands in the conspiracy only because they had vested interest, they had personal grievance against him. None of them had any patriotic interest. So that made him a disillusioned person. And in the end, when all of his close friends die, so how long can he remain a stoic? But still he did not take the dagger and stab himself. He got someone else to do it because he did not want to be imprisoned by Mark Antony. No, there is no indication regarding Populus Lena and Artemidorus. Maybe sometimes things leak out, na? Like the question papers. Yeah, I would say this is a bit hypocritical of Brutus. He calls Cassius an itching palm because Cassius accepts bribe. This is the question I had raised in my online classes also, that don't you feel Brutus is hypocritical because he is against Cassius because Cassius accepts bribes and gives high posts to his people according to the money they offer him. But Brutus has no aversion to accept the money which Cassius has accumulated. So that is hypocritical. If you are really such an honest person, then you should not accept the money which has been taken in a corrupt manner. Okay, he accepts bribes, but you also want that money to pay your soldiers. So you are also accepting that money. If you are not accepting it from the peasants, you want it from Cassius. So I think you are right. I was discussing this only with my students in the class. So for this one, I think I'll need to go for a separate video, not here, Scorpio, because it is a lengthy one. Can we do these two things in paper? Stories, poems, 1 minute. If the question asks what could be the possible ending of the story with the elevator, what I don't think they will go for once where you are supposed to make your. If they go for it, then it could be this boy was so frightened he might have fainted, or this woman, after saying this, she might have talked to him nicely or something. So depends on positivity or negativity, how you want to present it. Regarding Pindarus, you just asked me regarding Pindarus. Pindarus is a devoted slave. He is always in defense of his master, and that is what he tells Brutus also. And when Cassius had wanted that he should kill him, Cassius reminded him of the promise that Pindarus had made when Cassius saved his life. Cassius was going to kill him, and then he let him go under the condition that Pindarus will always obey whatever he orders. So Cassius reminded him that and made Pindarus kill him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done this. And it was on Cassius's order that Pindarus fled, because those who come later, like Messala and the others, they wouldn't know that it was Cassius who had told Pindarus to kill him. So in that case, Pindarus might be wrongly understood, and they might attack him. That is why he told Pindarus, kill me and immediately leave the place and go. No, that was Cassius's order, and he had been under the oath that I will do whatever you tell me to do. I will obey all your orders. That is why he killed immediately, but others were the friends. And that is why they were hesitating regarding Brutus. But regarding Pindarus, that was an order. Pindarus was a slave, and he had to follow the order of his master, and they were his friends. Very good. Why don't you go for my when great trees fall? There is a video. I think these are for the just go for it. They are not very detailed, so I think you will get whatever you want. Have you all gone through my videos? Aditi, yes, I think I gave you the answer. Okay, so Pindarus's character sketch, regarding that, it might not come as a big one. So Pindarus was a devoted slave. He obeyed his master. Not only that, he had personal feelings also for Cassius. And that is why he was not really eager. That after the murder of Cassius, that is what he said before he ran away. So if you have written the correct option, I don't think, why don't you come live for ISC? Actually, I had planned, but I was not feeling well, so I had to cancel it. So very sorry. And someone had asked me about that you were not able to write the full sentence, but if you have given the correct option, I don't think the marks should be deducted. I think you should get the marks. Yeah, nice to see you. It's been 6 years. Okay, how nice. Sometimes my students, and when I go to a particular place, they make it a point to visit me. So I feel so honored. When I had gone to Darjeeling, I found students there. I was in the mall, and then they came and approached me, and I felt so honored. Some of them invited me. So I have a lot of invitation list also, but leave these. Let's go to the literature part. Ashutosh. My God, they are running so fast. What could be the possible ending of the story? So that is just what I said. But depends on how much marks they are giving. Possible ending, there can be many. But the most obvious one would be that being the nervous boy Martin is, he would be, he might be on the verge of fainting. Or if he picks up courage, he will be going till and pressing again the button of the lift. He can be quite, or the lady suddenly makes a reverse turn and becomes very tender, starts talking to the boy in a nice manner. So the role of the ghost in Julius Caesar, I would say, can be the imagination of Brutus. It is his guilt conscience also. It can be the imagination, and it because he might be hallucinating. And most probably he is aware of his doom. That makes him, I will see you at Philippi. That is what the ghost tells. So most probably that gives him an indication of the defeat and death that is impending. So Lucius Pella bribe part, I just told you that regarding this only, the two, they were fighting. Role of the ghost. I said role of the ghost, it might be a real ghost because no one else sees it. So it could be Brutus's imagination. He might be hallucinating. Yeah, this is stoicism. No, I don't think he does not show his grief. He seems to be quite upset. Brutus seems to be quite upset regarding the death of Portia, and that is why we find a different Brutus. We find a different Brutus because we have always seen so calm and composed, but for the first time we see him retaliating. Everything that Cassius says, he gives a retort to it. He answers him point blank and he ridicules him. This is not the Brutus I know. So this is one which shows that he, even though he is a stoic, but Portia's death has upset him. And finally he says that Portia is dead. Arish, I would rather suggest you, Arish, that read them well, because I told you not in the first pre-boards, but in the second pre-boards, only 15 days back, in many schools, the question papers I had asked from my students and I found they are repeating it. So it's better to be on the safe side. Please, please, please go for the ones which have also come last year, because they have made your syllabus light. They have given you just 5. Whereas in my son's time, they had to study 15 prose, 15 poems. Can you believe it? And the whole of Shakespeare's play. So they have made your syllabus light, but at the same time, they are leaving no options. So in ISC also, they cannot choose because they have 5 chapters and 4 questions come. So they don't choose. So I think they are doing the same in ICSE also. So I would now suggest, since I have seen they are repeating, the schools are repeating question, they must be doing it at the directive of the board. So please don't leave out any. In the previous one, I had said that these two will, there are possibilities that it might not come. But now I am changing and I am saying that no, please go for them also. We never know. ICSE, they might change their plans and go for something which has come last year. Hi, Shaurya. Brutus does not show more. Yeah, so this is a stoic. When he doesn't show much, this is a stoic. So Jagannath, please, Jagannath Premi. So you must be having some other name. Are you from Odisha? Or Odisha, as we say. So yes, Arish, I said it's better to remain on the safe side. Prepare the ones which have come very well, and also don't ignore the ones which have come last year, because I told you ICSE seems to be changing its pattern. Earlier they never repeated, but if they repeat, you cannot blame them because that is in the syllabus. So regarding proper answers, study the question very well. Just try to understand what they are asking you. So for a 3 marks question, 3 to 4 lines is enough, provided you are answering to the point with the right keywords. And not only that, if there are 3 subdivisions in that question only, the 3 marks question has 3 sub questions, write each of them in a separate line. That is to attract the attention of the examiners that you have attempted all the 3 parts of the 3 marks question. If you want to get full marks, you need to attract the attention of the examiners. So regarding great trees fall, the tree is used as a metaphor, the great tree, and the effect of it on the flora and fauna. That means the plant life and also the animal life. How are they affected? And then the focus shifts to the passing away of a great man and how it affects those who are close to him and or in some way impressed, their lives have something to do with the great man. Their lives might have been influenced by them. So though when Gandhiji died, so Pandit Nehru, our first prime minister, he had said that the light has gone out of our lives and there is darkness everywhere. So it was said, I don't know because I was not born then. So it was said that it had affected the lives of the nation. The whole nation was plunged in grief. So regarding predict any act, see, I cannot predict, but I can just say, I'm not a fortune teller, the soothsayer. So, but I can only say that I think that Act 4, Scene 3 is very probable. But then it is up to the examiners. It is up to the paper setters. So the role of the ghost in Julius Caesar, it comes to remind Brutus of the injustice done to Caesar, because Brutus himself is aware that they had killed Julius Caesar, and he tells Cassius that should we have done this? We killed the foremost man of this world. Daksh. Finally free from Shakespeare. So are you all really happy? No. Shakespeare, I am a die-hard fan of Shakespeare. That is why when I had gone to London last year and they had asked me, my son and his friend, that which place do you want to go? I said, just take me to Stratford on Avon, Shakespeare's birthplace, and it will be enough for me. So I felt like I was in a land where my dream came true. Martin's fears were irrational. So that is what I have been telling you, that last year's questions, go for them also. Don't leave them untouched. This is my last advice. So now, not a current student. Thank you. And if you are thanking me, welcome. In the story, the girl who can, is there any significance of the background? Yes, the background, obviously, because that would tell you, see, if you are born in an advanced background, then it is easy for you to it is easy for you to improve in life, to make yourself a better person, to go for goals which are maybe very difficult. But when your background is only not advanced, then it is much more difficult. The task becomes much more difficult for Ajova. Why? Because girls are born only to give children, and that is why they should not have thin legs. That was the opinion. In her own family, this opinion. So they had never thought that the girl with thin legs could do something. So this is a backward community, backward place. So the significance of the background is obviously important. How to approach last 2 questions of Julius Caesar, since they are mostly opinion based. So you have to give your own opinions, but in that case also see if the opinions are more positive. Yes, I have just discussed Arish. So free from Shakespeare. So happy. So these are only being repeated. Tips to score, I just told you, write to the point answers. But nowadays the questions are becoming difficult. Competency based and then your opinion and all that. So earlier it was like You read the text and you can score, but you now not just reading the text, you have to think. You want to ask me any more questions? Yeah, regarding the background I told you. So what are these top fan batches? Actually, I'm not tech savvy and I have no idea of this. Proper answers at this time you are asking me. Proper answers, I just told you, go through the question very well and don't need to beat about the bush and then start your answer. Many times students do that. No, the examiner doesn't want to read the rubbish stuff which is not needed. Just write the ones which the question asks. No, don't be nervous. If you are nervous, the battle is half lost. So just tell yourself that I have prepared myself well and I am not afraid. So this time, Arish, if it had been last year, I would have confidently said that no, you don't need to. There is no probability, 99.9% chances of not coming. But this time, the pre-board papers, they are a warning. So that is why I think you all should go for the two which have come also. Don't ignore them. If they don't come well and fine. Prepare the three which have not come very well, but the ones which have come also, don't ignore them. Go through so that you are on the safe side, because this is a board exam. Okay. So if you have left it and it comes, then you will be in a state of panic. So go through them. Only two chapters in prose and poem. So what's the harm? And as it is, you have to read them for your MCQs. Turn turtle. So turn turtle most probably is in that one. Power of music. So these are all exaggerations. The turn turtle. And in the sky, the feathered fly turned turtle. So as if went for a somersault something. So turn turtle, it's an exaggeration. Significance of the background, I said yes, there is. So now go for something new. Adi, I didn't understand. Please reply if year fluctuation in language. I don't understand this. Paradoxical characters, opposite characters. So Cassius is more impulsive, and at the same time we find Cassius to be a clever schemer. Brutus is not. Cassius is far-sighted. Brutus is not. And you can give examples, because Cassius had wanted the murder of Mark Antony, Brutus had stopped him. Cassius had not wanted that Brutus should give permission to Mark Antony to speak, and he had not listened. Cassius had told that let's stay in Sardis and not move to Philippi. Brutus, the three things which Brutus had not listened to Cassius, and it resulted in their defeat. So who is a far-sighted person? Cassius is far-sighted, Brutus is not. Cassius is practical, Brutus is not. He is emotional. He is more patriotic. And Cassius is a jealous person. Brutus is not. So Cassius has his good points, but his jealousy is the negative quality which brings about his downfall. And Brutus also, he believes, he doesn't have, I would say that Brutus is not very wise. How does the Shakespeare How does Shakespeare use the quarrel scene to reveal the nature of Brutus and Cassius? So Cassius is supposed to be a greedy person, and Brutus is not greedy, but at this he doesn't want the money for his sake. So in that case, Brutus is much above Cassius, but at the same time he is a bit hypocritical, because he is ready to accept the money, but he condemns Cassius for taking the money, but he doesn't find any fault in taking the money. He would say the justification Brutus could give is that, well, I'm not using for my personal gains. Whereas Cassius, he used the money in order to buy people with a high post. Actually, he gave them high post. Why? Because they gave him money. So he is not moral. Brutus has his plus points. Cassius also has, but in that case, Brutus seems to be a noble person. We won't call Cassius noble. Out of. No, you can't use two words. Anya, you can't use two words. So beyond her means out of, then you would require two words. Thank you, Kriday. I'm honored. Anything new? Any new thing to ask? Regarding, I just now told Martin's fears were irrational, because it must be that he had thought in his mind that lady is dangerous, and most probably she had sensed it, and that is why she was enjoying herself because of his irrational fear. So, Anya, I just gave you the answer. Beyond. Turn turtle, I just now told you. So, what are these actually? The crown sort of thing for? I don't understand. So, this 40 rupees. Oh, it has been added to my account. How nice. So, Simi, I'm honored. See, regarding this one, Shaurya, they work till night to complete the work, complete the project, wasn't it? I don't know, but I think very good. District topper. So, yes, hats off for this one. Like, so regarding that one, till the night, I wouldn't say is wrong, but it all depends. Rather through the night, or one of my YouTube student had asked whether all through the night would be correct. So I said yes, all through the night is also correct. So happy to know that you are scoring, because when you all score, I still treasure one email I had got from one of my student who said that he is the country topper in English. So, and then he had sent me a written me a big letter, email of course, and I still treasure it. So the quarrel shows that Brutus, who had never lost his calm, so he was like the flintstone, that is what he calls himself. He was like the flintstone. So a spark is seen and then immediately it is gone, right? So that means that normally he never loses his cool. He has his temper under his control. So this is Brutus. So after some time he gets back his calm, he gets back his poise, and he apologizes. He says that next time you think that it is your mother who is scolding you. So this shows what a great person Brutus is. And Cassius, he is always a opportunist and a person who is always trying to prove himself right. He is a greedy person. I have no respect for Cassius in spite of some of the good qualities which he has, which means that he is a wise person, foresighted person, but they don't earn the respect. Brutus might not be so far-sighted, but he is a noble person. So we get to know the true nature of Brutus and Cassius. Immediately, after a little bit of retorting Cassius, he immediately becomes the calm and cool Brutus that we know him to be. So that shows that he is really a good person. And Cassius, yes, the more he fights and all that, and later, oh Portia, are you gone and all that. So these are, I would rather say, they are pretense. Cassius, right from the beginning, how he fooled Brutus into believing that the people wanted him to do something, whereas it was he who had written all those letters. So Anjani Singh. Anjani, what did you write? Shubhojit, most important scene and act for Julius Caesar. Scene I cannot say, but Act 4 is probable because it has not come last year, but then obviously one will be a repetition, one act will be a repetition. And in Julius Caesar also they have repeated. In some schools they have repeated Act 5 and some schools they have repeated Act 3. So this year I said it is very difficult. That is why I'm telling you all, you still have 1 day's time, go through them. Harsh, this one I just now told. Yeah, Sandeep, hi. Earlier they never repeated, but this time in the pre-board, since they are repeating, I advise you to go through them. There is no reason that you should find yourself helpless in the exam when you have at least 1 day's time to go for them. Till the night, no, I wouldn't go for it. You must be joking, Khushi. How can you get 95? So no jokes, please. Then you must be waiting for some guardian angel to come and write your answers. Shots maker. Yeah, so glad to see that you have come, you have joined this meeting. So the proof of the photos, so they give you the proof, and if you say it is okay, then only they will go and print it. So in the photographer, it doesn't mean evidence. So they will give you a negative of what, or they will give you a proof and you go for it, and once you say it's okay, then they will give you, they will print the photo and give it to you. So that is the word proof here. So love for everything, collectivistic regimenting love in considerable spec. So he says that he doesn't have that type of love for this that small mite, but then he admires its fight and all that, such a tiny speck, and that is why he does not harm it. He lets it go. So love for everything, love for all living creatures. Yeah, every year when I send my students to the board, especially the 12, I get emotional. And 10 also, some of them they shift to CBSE and then they want that I should take online coaching for CBSE. But CBSE, English is very easy. Yeah, Brijesh. So do peep sometimes. No, no, no. The lady was real. I don't think it was his claustrophobic, because uh, he tells the father, and I think she was there. But what he had imagined, that was unrealistic. That was not real. Maybe she was just a fat lady and there, but he fears that his fear is irrational. Chapters, the three which have not come, they are very important, but at the same time I'm telling you, please don't leave out the others. As it is, you have to study them for your MCQs, because the ICSC trend is changing. Earlier no repetition, till last year no repetition, but this year, last year was the first year, but this year it seems that they might repeat. So I'm keeping on warning you. I'm warning you again and again, don't leave out anything. Yeah, I said. So what a nice name, onomatopoeia. Khushi. So study the three which haven't come very nicely, and also the two which have come, because you have the option to leave one. So you can leave one either in prose or in poem or Julius Caesar. So, but you can't leave both. So that is why I'm suggesting go for them. The two in prose which have come, elevator and last lesson, and in poems, considerable speck and the glove and the lions. So I wouldn't say they are not coming. So please go for them. Okay? Anything else? So regarding the meaning of proof, did you get it, Suhani? Collectivistic also, I said love for every living creature. Shubhojit, if I read only the text thoroughly for the chapters which came the last year, will I be able to appear for the exam? If I read only the text thoroughly for the chapters which came the last year. No, why should you read only the ones which came last year? Achha, just 1 minute. আপনি ঘরে যান মা তোকে খুলতে চলে এসেছে So sorry, I had to leave. There was someone at the door. Only the text, yeah, the ones which have come last year, if you read the text, yeah, it will do. Even if it comes, you know how to handle. Let's think it will come. If it doesn't come, well and fine. Thank you. So student from ICSC 22, that means you must have completed your ISC. You must be going for some stream. So wish you also all good luck and success. Yeah, Shubhajit, got it? For those two, read the text very well, so that if a question, if it does come, you can handle it. Okay? No, regarding the prose also, just don't read the chapters. You have your workbook. Go for the figures of speech, the style, because you all are getting such questions now. You might get something about the author, so go for the workbook. So just the, I always say that read the text thoroughly, but nowadays you are not just getting the text, something else. So go for the language, the style, the dictions, figures of speech. So it's best to go for your work, go through your workbook. And regarding the ones which have come already, go through the text very well. So that if you want, you can attempt them. How to? Actually, I don't know how to ban. I mean, I said now I'm not tech savvy. So just, it's no use creating problem when the others are serious. How was dead Caesar more dangerous? Yes, dead Caesar, quite a nice question. Dead Caesar, when Caesar was in Act 3, Scene 1, he was there in the Senate and they surrounded him and they killed him. But after his death, Mark Antony and his desire for revenge and Octavius and the triumvirate. So remember what Mark Antony had said, that Caesar's spirit, the ones whom Caesar had trusted, Decius Brutus, Marcus Brutus. So, and they betrayed him. Leave out Cassius. He had never any love lost with Caesar. Casca, Caesar had no idea that Casca would also go against him. He had not done anything wrong to Casca, just Cassius brainwashed him and then brought him to his side. So Caesar, after his death, becomes more dangerous. Why? Because these people, like Brutus, suffers from a sense of guilt that he had killed Caesar. He is disillusioned. And one by one, those very people who had killed him, they meet their end. And also by the same weapon with which they had killed Caesar, they end their own lives. Same for Brutus. No, Brutus, I think, or whatever it is, but they get killed one by one. So Caesar is successful in taking his revenge. Even that is what Cassius said before dying. Shubhajit, I think you have got your answer. Acha, Scorpio, I told you that not only the chapter but also the ones which are given in the workbook. Regarding the author also, you never know. If they ask you something about the author or the style, the background. Anything new? So I'll leave you all, and let me see if I can. If you are really serious, then I might come also live tomorrow. So the last minute revisions by for the time being. Okay.